Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to day 11 of Advent Study. We're so glad that you are joining us today. So we are in Frisco Square, and my question for you today, I have a few questions. So question one for your journal is, what is your favorite Christmas memory? Just reflect, write it down at the end of this video. You can think through, like, of all time, what is your favorite Christmas memory? I know for some of us it includes coming to Marion Main Street out here, or just driving through the lights to see the show. Today we're going to be talking about letters. And so I know a few months ago my mom found this whole box of letters from when she was in college, and it was just hilarious to go back and read, because in her day she couldn't just text home, so she would write home, "Mom, this is what's going on." It talked about her and my dad's relationship, and thanks for coming to visit me this weekend, all those kinds of things. And it was just so funny to look back and just relive this part of my mom's history that I didn't know before. And so here's the cool thing, is that God is writing our story, right? And He's given us a letter to go back and reflect on all that He has done. And so I hope that as you've been Adventing with us, that you've been journaling, because we've been encouraging you to, and we think it's really important. I know for me, it's so cool to go back and look at old journals and just see what God has done in my life, and be reminded that God is faithful and He is who He says He is. And so as we're talking about journaling, go grab your Bible and go grab your journal, and we'll meet you back here in like 20 seconds. Ready, go. All right, now that you've gotten your Bible, your journal, I want you to flip over to the book of Isaiah. It's kind of toward the middle. If you hit the Psalms, keep going a little bit. But we're going to be in Isaiah 25, looking at verse 1. And so Isaiah was a prophet, and he wrote down the things that God did in his life and the things that he was supposed to tell the people. And so we have his words of truth that God spoke through him and to him, and just chronicles his feelings about doing ministry with life. And so here's what Isaiah 25:1 says. "O Lord, you are my God. I will exalt you. I will praise your name. For you have done wonderful things, plans formed of old, faithful and sure." And so sometimes, I'm sure he was speaking to a people that were hard-hearted, and just like a hard message that he was working with. And so I'm sure sometimes he would get discouraged, and just to see, like, okay, God, where are you working? Have you abandoned us? What's going on? And I know sometimes in life that's how we feel, right? We feel like, where are you, Lord? What's going on? But we can know that God is sure and that He is faithful. And in journaling and in writing letters about what God is doing, we can look back and see where God has been faithful in the past. And so I love this, that not only is Isaiah saying who God is, but he's also talking about what God has done. And so he says, "God, you're my God, I will exalt you." And that word exalt means to lift high, to glorify, to raise up. And so he's saying, I will exalt your name, and I will praise your name, because it is so worthy to be praised and to give honor to. And then he doesn't just say, like, because you are who you are, but also because of what God has done. I mean, he says, you have done wonderful things because you are faithful and sure. And so sometimes we just need to remind ourselves that God is who He says He is, that He is faithful, He is sure, and that we can look forward with hope at what God is going to do, because He's going to do abundantly more than we can ever ask or imagine, and things that we can't even imagine, right? And so as we're waiting in this time of Advent, waiting for Jesus to come, waiting to celebrate Christmas, we know that God is working in our waiting. Sometimes seasons in life just feel like a long waiting period, but we know that God is planting things and doing things in our lives that we cannot even imagine. And so my second question to you today is, when in your past has God done marvelous things? And so I want you just to reflect what, like, times when you've seen God move and done things in your life. So when has He taken a hopeless situation and brought good out of it? Or when have you felt comforted by God? So when have you seen God do marvelous things? And then after that, I want you to reflect on what gives you hope for your future. So what are you hoping for, and what are you looking forward to? What are you asking God to do? And so as we're waiting, we can know that God is sure and that He is faithful, and He's going to do what He says He does. And so keep journaling, because you can look back and see where God's moving and what God's doing in your life, and maybe things that you started 10, 11 days ago journaling about, that he's already answering those prayers. So keep going, you're doing great, and we're loving celebrating this season with you. We'll see you tomorrow.